Before we begin this morning prayer, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like this video. Your support helps these words reach someone else who might be quietly searching for hope this morning, reminding them that they are not alone. This morning, before anything else rushes in, I just want to breathe and notice that I'm here, that my eyes opened, that my heart is still beating, that somehow, in the mystery of life and grace, I've been given another sunrise, another chance to try. It might sound simple, but maybe that's the most sacred thing of all, that I get to begin again, even if yesterday was messy, unfinished, or full of moments I wish I could redo. Right now, the air feels softer, the light is gentler, and I want to let myself pause long enough to say thank you. Not for what's perfect or going well, but for the very fact that I'm still here to learn, to grow, to love, and to keep trying. Some mornings I wake up and my mind instantly brings back the weight of yesterday. The conversations I replay in my head, the things I didn't finish, the way I spoke too sharply, the opportunities I missed. But this morning, I want to hold my thoughts differently. I want to remember that today is not yesterday, that the mistakes I made are not the full story, and that I don't have to carry the same heaviness into this new day. Thank you for giving me space to start over. Thank you for reminding me that each sunrise is proof that the story isn't done yet. I know I can be hard on myself. I can look at all the ways I've fallen short and forget the moments I've shown kindness, strength, or courage. But maybe this is part of the gift of waking up, to remember that life is not asking me to be flawless. It's inviting me to keep showing up, even when it's messy, even when I don't have all the answers, even when I feel uncertain about the road ahead. I'm grateful that you don't measure my worth by my last bad day or my most recent failure. You look at me and still see someone worth giving another chance. Today, I want to lean into that truth. I want to walk through the hours ahead with the awareness that I'm not running out of opportunities. Every conversation, every task, every quiet moment can be a new beginning. If I stumble, I can try again. If I speak in a way I regret, I can apologize and keep moving forward. If fear whispers in my ear, I can choose courage in the next breath. That's the beauty of being alive. There's always another chance waiting. And right now, I choose to take it. Thank you for giving me this breath, this sunrise, this chance to step into a day that has never existed before. Help me to see it as a gift, even if it's full of challenges. Help me to notice the little mercies that will be scattered through it. A kind word from a stranger, a moment of laughter, the comfort of something familiar. And when I feel like I'm losing momentum, remind me that the goal isn't perfection. It's persistence, it's presence, it's choosing to try again and again, no matter how many times I've had to start over. I don't want to rush through this morning. I want to carry this sense of gratitude with me, to let it seep into the way I speak, the way I work, the way I treat myself and others. When I face something difficult today, help me remember that it's not the end. It's just another chance to learn resilience. When I succeed, help me savor it without the pressure, instantly move to the next thing. When I make a mistake, help me see it as an opportunity to grow, not as a reason to give up. Some days, I take this chance for granted. I get caught up in busyness, in comparison, in doubt. But today, I want to notice the miracle of it, that against all odds, I am still here. That, despite my flaws, I am still loved. That in ways I can't always see, I am still being guided towards something good. So, I start this day with open hands, willing to receive whatever it brings. Thank you for the grace that woke me up. Thank you for the patience that keeps inviting me to try. Thank you for loving me. Even when I don't get it right, I step into this day knowing that I won't be perfect, but I will be present. I will keep moving. I will keep trying, and that in itself is enough. And maybe that's what makes this morning so powerful. Not that everything is certain, but that I've been given the freedom to try again without the weight of yesterday holding me down. I will carry that with me like a quiet light in my chest, reminding me that no matter how many times I've fallen, there is always another sunrise, always another breath, always another chance. Even as I sit here, letting the quiet of the morning wrap around me, I know the day will start moving quickly. The phone will ring, messages will come in, and responsibilities will begin to knock on my mind. But right now, before all of that, I want to anchor myself in the truth that this is a fresh page. Not an extension of yesterday's unfinished lines, but a new chapter entirely. And I get to decide how I fill it, maybe with courage, maybe with gentleness, maybe just with a steady choice to keep going, even if the steps are small. It's strange how often I forget that I've been here before, the edge of a day I thought I couldn't face, only to find myself on the other side of it, still standing. I think about all the times I wanted to give up, all the days I believed were too heavy to get through, and yet, here I am. That tells me something. It tells me I am stronger than I thought. It tells me that life can surprise me with little moments of light, even in the middle of the mess. And it tells me that maybe the biggest victories aren't in grand achievements, but in the simple act of showing up again. So today, I want to notice the victories that might not make headlines in my life. Getting out of bed when I didn't want to, offering a kind word when I didn't feel like speaking, choosing to forgive when holding on to bitterness felt easier. These are the quiet wins that keep my soul alive, and they are worth celebrating, even if no one else sees them. I know there will be moments today when I doubt myself, when the old voices try to remind me of my flaws more than my strengths. But in those moments, I want to remember that this chance I've been given today is not about being flawless. It's about being faithful to the journey, faithful to keep trying, to keep loving, to keep showing up. I want to meet each challenge with the thought, I've been given this moment for a reason, and I am capable of walking through it. When I think of the word chance, I don't just think of opportunity, I think of grace, because chances are rarely earned. They are given, and this morning feels like a gift I didn't have to work for. I woke up without needing to prove myself first. I was handed the light of day without having to convince anyone I deserved it. That's the kind of grace I want to carry with me, not just to receive, but to give, to see each person I meet today as someone also worthy of another chance. If I run into someone who frustrates me, I want to pause before I react, remembering that they might be in the middle of their own second or 100th chance. If I see someone struggling, I want to remember that I've been in that place too, and maybe my compassion can be the thing that helps them keep trying. It's amazing how the way I hold this truth for myself can shape the way I hold others. There's a kind of courage in trying again. It's not flashy. It doesn't always get applause, but it's the kind of courage that changes a life over time. And I think that's what I want today to be about. Not proving anything, but building something, brick by brick, moment by moment, until the day I can look back and see that all those little tries added up to something beautiful. Even if I stumble in my words or falter in my steps today, I know that I can try again in the next breath. I can reset without waiting for another sunrise. I can take a deep breath, whisper thank you for this moment, and start again right where I am. That's the real gift of life. It's not just about the mornings, it's about the ability to choose a fresh start at any point in the day. So, as I step into whatever this day will bring, I carry this gratitude with me like a shield. Gratitude for the breath in my lungs, gratitude for the strength that will rise in me when I need it, gratitude for the unseen ways I'm being guided, even when I can't map out every turn. Thank you for this chance, not because I have everything figured out, but because I don't. Thank you for reminding me that my worth is not tied to the outcome, but to the choice to keep showing up. And when the day ends, may I be able to look back and say, I didn't give up. I tried again, and that was enough. This morning, as the light begins to filter into the quiet corners of your room, I want you to pause and notice what that means. That you've been given another day, another sunrise, another breath, another chance. It might not feel dramatic. It might not feel like a grand new chapter. Sometimes the most life-changing moments arrive wrapped in simplicity, the quiet knowledge that you're here, that you've made it through the night, that you've been given space to try again. You don't need to earn this moment. You don't need to prove you deserve it. It's simply here, waiting for you to step into it. And in this stillness, you can choose gratitude. Gratitude, not just for the good days or the victories, but for this very moment where possibility exists. There may be a heaviness in your chest from yesterday's disappointments. There may be thoughts whispering that you've already failed too many times, that you should have done more, been more, achieved more by now. Let's quiet those voices for a moment. Let's remind ourselves that no one begins perfectly, and no journey moves without stumbles. Today is not a test of whether you've fixed everything. It's simply an invitation to try again, with a little more grace, a little more kindness for yourself, and a little more trust that the steps you take, no matter how small, matter. Take a deep breath. Feel it fill your lungs slowly, then let it go. Imagine with each inhale that you're drawing in fresh air for your spirit, and with each exhale, you're releasing the stale weight of the past. You can keep the lessons from yesterday without carrying the burden of regret. You can choose to walk forward lighter. This is not denial, it's wisdom, the understanding that clinging to pain does not serve your growth. Gratitude, even for imperfect beginnings, has a way of softening your heart and opening your mind to what could be. Maybe there's a conversation you've been dreading, a project you've been putting off, a decision you've been circling around without the courage to take. Today doesn't have to hold the final answer. It can simply be a day where you take one step toward it, and maybe, just maybe, that step will feel easier when you remember you're not walking alone, when you remember that the one who gave you this day also walks beside you in it. You are not abandoned in the mess. You are not forgotten in the quiet. This new day was placed in your hands for a reason, even if you can't see it yet. Think about what it means to be given another chance. It's not just the opportunity to redo what went wrong, it's the chance to see it differently, the chance to meet yourself with patience instead of judgment, the chance to forgive someone else, the chance to approach an old problem with a new heart. We often underestimate how much power there is in a shift of perspective. When your heart softens, the same world can look entirely new. And sometimes, that's all we need to find the courage to try again. So today, don't rush into proving yourself. Don't let the weight of 100 tasks rob you of the truth that your worth is not up for debate. You were valuable yesterday when you felt like you fell short, and you're valuable today before you've even begun. Let this truth anchor you. You are loved before you succeed, and you are held even when you stumble. And from that place of safety, you can try without fear. If you've been carrying a quiet sadness, let it rest here for a moment. If your mind is filled with what-ifs and should-haves, set them down. You don't need to fix everything before you can feel peace. In fact, peace is often the starting place for everything else. Choose to stand in it now, even if the world around you feels unsteady. Your stability doesn't come from perfect circumstances. It comes from knowing you're not facing this day alone. This morning, I invite you to whisper your gratitude out loud, even if it's shaky, even if it's small. Thank you for the air I breathe. Thank you for the strength I still have. Thank you for the people who care, even if they're far away. Thank you for this one more chance to try. Gratitude will not erase your challenges, but it will give you the courage to meet them. And if you feel like you've wasted too many chances already, hear this. There is no limit to how many times you can begin again. The story of your life is not defined by a single chapter. You are still turning pages, still discovering what's possible. And even if yesterday's page was heavy with mistakes or pain, today's page is blank. You get to choose what you write on it. You don't have to know the ending to begin. You just have to. So as you step into this day, carry this prayer in your heart. Thank you for trusting me with another sunrise. Thank you for believing that I can try again, even when I doubt myself. Thank you for loving me in my weakness and in my strength. Let me walk through today with open eyes, open hands, and an open heart, ready to see the opportunities that will cross my path. And when I falter, remind me that trying again is always enough. No matter how ordinary or overwhelming this day becomes, it is still a gift. You are still a part of something bigger than your fears. And as long as you have breath, you have the power to take one more step. That is enough. You are enough. And you are loved in this very moment, exactly as you are. This morning, I'm choosing to notice the simple miracle of waking up, not because everything is fixed, not because the road is suddenly smooth, but because I've been given breath and time and space enough to try again. Thank you for the quiet ways hope returns, in the soft light across the floor, in the sound of water running from the tap, in the first cup that warms my hands and reminds me that small things can carry great comfort. I don't want to treat this day as a test I must pass. I want to treat it as a gift I get to open slowly. If yesterday left edges that still feel sharp, let grace be the cloth that wraps them so I can hold my life without cutting myself on what I cannot change. I'm not asking you to erase the past. I'm asking you to renew my posture toward it, to let me keep the wisdom but set down the weight, to let me honor what I learned without carrying what no longer belongs to me. Another chance does not promise perfection. It promises presence. So let me be here, truly here, in the honest middle of my real life. When the calendar crowds and the expectations stack, help me remember that the center of this day is not performance, but relationship with you, with others, with the self you've entrusted my care. I want to move like someone who knows that love is not on a timer, that worth does not wobble when plans do. The beginning again is not a sign of failure, but a sign of faith. Let my attempts today be small and sincere and steady. If I can do one thing with care, let that be holy. If I can offer one apology, one encouragement, one quiet yes to what is right, let that be enough to name this day good. I am grateful for the way mercy keeps finding me in ordinary places. In a message I didn't expect, in a laugh that loosens the knot in my chest, in a moment of sunlight that lands on my desk like a gentle hand. Teach me to notice these mercies without hurrying past them. When I am tempted to narrate my life in terms of not yet and not enough, interrupt me with gratitude. Let me say thank you for this breath before I say what's next. Let me say thank you for this person before I try to fix them or prove something to them. Let me say thank you for this body before I list what I want to change. Gratitude does not cancel grief or effort or growth. It simply gives them a place to belong without swallowing me whole. If I meet disappointment today, let it be a teacher and not a tyrant. If doors stay closed, let me not batter them with my fear or turn their silence into a verdict against my worth. Another chance often looks like a different door, a slower hallway, a path I wouldn't have chosen that leads me somewhere truer than I knew to ask for. Guide my feet without rushing my heart. Guide my words without shrinking my courage. Guide my patience so it does not wither in the heat of hurry. And when I can't see far, let me walk by the light I do have, the next right thing, the next honest step, the next kind word. Thank you for the people who will cross my path, for those who will make the day lighter, and for those who will stretch my gentleness. Help me hold both kinds with the same dignity. Let me remember that everyone I meet is also waking to a story they're still trying to write, also hoping for a chance to start again. If I can be someone's reminder that new beginnings are still possible, let me be that reminder with my tone, my eyes, my unhurried listening, and when I'm the one who needs that reminder, send it through unexpected channels. A lyric, a line in a book, a view of the sky that refuses to anything but generous. Keep me from the theater of self-rejection. When I start rehearsing the old lines, too late, too much, too little, hand me a truer script, loved, held, guided, growing. Let me measure this day, not by applause or efficiency, but by fidelity. Did I return to love when fear tugged at my sleeve? Did I tell the truth kindly? Did I rest my worth in you instead of in outcomes I cannot control? If I can answer yes even once, then the grace of another chance has done its quiet work. And if fatigue finds me, the deep kind that isn't solved by coffee or a clever schedule, let me meet it with honesty. Let me ask for help before resentment builds a home in me. Let me put something down without calling it quitting. Let me be a friend to my own limits so that my yes has integrity and my no has peace. Another chance is not another demand to carry the impossible. It is another invitation to carry only what is mine with the strength you provide. So I bless this unrepeatable day, the simple food I will eat, the conversations I will hold, the steps I will take across familiar floors. I bless the work of my hands to be useful and my rest to be real. I bless my mistakes to become teachers and my successes to become offerings. I bless my beginning again, this humble art of starting where I am with what I have to be in. And when night gathers and I look back, let my memory keep not the tally of tasks, but the texture of grace. Where I paused to breathe, where I chose a softer word, where I noticed beauty and let it change the temperature of the room. Thank you for another chance to try, not to earn love, but to live from it, not to erase yesterday, but to write today with kinder ink, not to prove I am unbreakable, but to discover again that even when I bend, I am not abandoned. Here I am, opening my hands to this morning. Here I am, beginning again without shame. Here I am, trusting that a life of small, faithful tries will lead me home to joy. This morning, as I sit here and breathe in the quiet of a brand new day, I can't help but feel the gentle truth settle in my heart that waking up today is itself a gift. The fact that I have opened my eyes again, that my body has been given another chance to move, my voice another chance to speak, and my spirit another chance to grow. It's more than enough reason to be grateful. Sometimes we think the most valuable blessings come wrapped in achievement, success, or applause. But the older I get, the more I realize that the truest blessing is simply this: another sunrise to greet, another page of life to write, another opportunity to try again, no matter what yesterday held. And maybe that's exactly what we need to remember this morning, that we are not defined by yesterday's mistakes, missed chances, or things we wish we'd done differently. The dawn does not hold grudges. The air does not withhold its freshness. The light does not ask if you were perfect before it warms your skin. It simply shows up, offering itself freely, inviting you to step into a new moment without the weight of the old one. That's the beauty of today. It asks nothing of you except to show up and receive it. As I think about what lies ahead, I can feel the quiet reassurance that I don't have to have everything figured out. I don't have to prove my worth to earn the right to be here. I don't have to outrun my doubts or silence every fear before I take the first step. I can move forward knowing that I am held by a love that is bigger than my weaknesses and steadier than my uncertainty. And in that love, I find courage. In that love, I find a safe place to try again, to take one more chance, to give one more effort, to speak one more word of kindness, even if yesterday I was silent. This morning, I want to thank God for not giving up on me, for seeing more in me than I sometimes see in myself, for breathing life into me again, even when I've been too focused on my failures to notice the grace around me. I also want to thank Him for the gentle ways He nudges my heart, reminding me that every small step counts. Maybe I won't change everything in one day. Maybe the progress will be slower than I hope, but every breath, every act of kindness, every choice to keep going, it matters. And today, I want to choose that. I want to show up, even imperfectly. I want to keep moving, even if my pace is unsteady. I want to keep believing that this day was given to me for a reason, even if I don't yet see the full picture. So this morning, I pray for the strength to begin again without fear of the past. I pray for the wisdom to recognize the small chances in front of me, the chance to smile at a stranger, to call someone I've been meaning to reach out to forgive a hurt that's been weighing me down, to be patient with myself when I stumble. I pray that my heart stays open to grace, not just in grand, dramatic moments, but in the quiet, everyday ways it shows up. And above all, I pray that I never forget that waking up today, here, now, in this moment, is enough reason to lift my head, breathe deeply, and say with all my heart, thank you for another chance to try.